Last episode I demolished a landscape, deployed a fountain and didn't kill a horse. This time I built a small wheat farm, a giant mob farm and a medium-sized construction vehicle, just for something a little bit different. First up though, last episode I did ask you what you thought about these streetlights and the response was pretty unanimous. People do not like these anvils, and pretty much every single one of you that responded actually preferred it when it was these blocks because the walls connect, and you know what? I think you might be right. So we're going to get all of these changed out. And there we go. And yeah, I think you're definitely right. That does look a lot better now it's all connected. So thank you for your feedback on that. And something else I asked you last episode was to suggest names for our wonderful horse here. So we're going to go grab ourselves a name tag and give this horse a name. And the name we're going with was suggested by Libby5386. We're going to call the horse Socks. There were quite a few suggestions for variants of Pickles, but yeah, I don't think we need to bring that over to this horse. I mean, that never ended well, did it? Let's be honest. And here we go. We now have Socks. You beautiful horse. Now, between episodes, I've been doing a bunch of research into some styles and ideas and basically just trying to work out what we're actually going to do on Main Street over there, or Main Street over here now that I'm a little bit closer. And I think what I've settled on is something I'm going to call whimsical steampunk. So it's going to be very kind of steampunky, of course, but instead of normal steampunk and just basically copper everywhere, we're going to have a combination of bright colours, pipes, cogs, moving parts, maybe even a raised walkway or two in order to really bring this first street to life. But there is a problem with that, in that we are severely under-resourced at the moment to actually be able to make much progress with that. So what we're going to need to do is to make a couple of small farms, probably do a whole bunch of resource collection, and then we can get ourselves in a position to actually start building up this street, which is going to act as our main storage area as well. We've already got about 20 double chests worth of stuff that have nowhere to go, so I think sorting out storage is probably going to be a good idea. And my original plan was actually to hide storage under the fountain, and we were going to have like a little secret entrance to get to it, but to be honest, I think making use of the sort of shops and things that we're going to be putting across the front here and turning them into different storage areas is definitely going to work a lot better for us. But to get to a stage where we can do that, the first thing we need to do is to get a whole lot more path. I think I do want the path down there to continue being mud, and the problem with that is we don't actually have enough wheat to turn all the mud we've collected into this packed mud variant. So we need to go make ourselves a very small wheat farm. And I think it makes sense to do that over here at the construction yard. We could maybe stick down another container, probably over here somewhere, and stick a wheat farm in that. The first things first, I guess I'm going to need another container. Downside to that is I need lots and lots of these, the copycat slabs, and I don't know if that's going to be enough, which means I really do need to get my hands on some more zinc, and I'm wondering, we can find a pocket of azarine. We could get quite a lot of zinc from that, so that would be quite nice. But in the meantime, I think we're just going to need to go drilling again. But we've got lots and lots of iron now, so we can probably make our drill a lot bigger than it currently is. I need to eat some food. Oh, and it's raining. Classic. Now, our drill really is very small at the moment. Let's see if we can expand this a little bit further. So we're going to need lots of iron. We're going to need some andesite casings and a bit of andesite alloy too. Right, let's go. Oh, looks like I'm going to need a whole lot more wood as well, which means this is going to be more of a task than I thought it would be, because we literally have 0 bone meal, so I'm going to have to wait for these trees to grow before I can even chop them down. And with that in mind, I think we're therefore going to grow a whole bunch of these so we don't have to do it again anytime soon. And we can't really do much until all of these trees have grown, so in the meantime, I think I'm going to give myself a couple more backpack upgrades. There's a couple of things we're missing that would make my life a lot easier. Let's see what string we've got, and leather. Okay, we should be able to make a few. Right, we can get 5 backpack upgrade things. And the main thing I want are these, the stack upgrades, and we don't really have any diamonds at the moment, so we won't be able to do diamond ones, but I'm hoping we might at least be able to get some of these gold ones. Because if we can multiply the stack sizes in here, we'll basically be able to hold a lot more without taking up all these slots just for cobble. So let's make ourselves 2 iron stack upgrades. Do we have enough gold? We can make 1. Oh, it's going to be tight. I don't know if we've got enough here. Oh, maybe. Just quickly cook that up. To make a gold one, we need to actually upgrade the iron one. So, yeah, I need another 5 gold blocks, and we're not going to get that from the 28 I've just put in there. But can I not grind ochrum down? Does that not give me gold? It does. 20% chance. Okay, maybe we can get the rest of what we need just from this stuff. Dump all that in there and wait for the gold. Well, we got another 29 crushed raw gold from that. That should hopefully be enough. Let's get that cooked up. Turn it all into gold blocks, and yep, look at that. We've got enough. So if we apply both of these stack upgrades to our backpack here, and then I click the middle button to sort, Oh, look at that. Takes up so much less space. And hopefully in future we can upgrade those to diamond as well. But yeah, as I say, we've only got the 1 diamond at the moment, so that is not helpful. Not helpful at all. Good news though, the trees are growing, so let's go get a whole bunch of wood, make some andesite casings, and actually get this drill expanded. I don't want to go too overboard, but it definitely wants to be at least twice as big as that. So we need to crush lots and lots of iron ingots, or flatten I should say, so we can get iron sheets. We're going to need probably a little bit more andesite alloy. Chuck some andesite in there. A stack of iron nuggets. We're going to strip some wood, and we're going to make some andesite casings. That should be everything we need to make a whole bunch of drills. Or maybe not. This is entirely not what I need to be doing. Oh, geez, I probably should have looked at the recipe more. We need lots and lots of andesite alloy, and we don't need any iron sheets at all. Oh, great. Bit of a boo-boo on my part. I completely misremembered that recipe. So let's grab some more andesite, and oh, look at that. We've got loads in here. And we're going to need a whole lot more andesite alloy. And now we can make our drills. And now we've used the correct recipe, we have a lot more drills. Let's just expand this thing as much as we can, which means I'm going to need to put down one of these to turn it back from being a contraption. And now I should, yep, there we go, just be able to add extra drills. We'll just keep going around, I guess, until we run out. And I think it's about time we replace these barrels as well. And I'm hoping my backpack can hold all this stuff now that we've upgraded it. But I guess we're about to find out. Yep, look at that. So each slot now holds 1,024. That's definitely better than it was. I'm just going to stick a whole bunch of chests in instead. Get everything glued together. Hopefully, we can just collect our brand new drill. Yep, look at that. Wonderful. Well, actually, I should probably put that down and set that to lock rotation before we start using it. Otherwise, well, we could have some nasty accidents underground. Right then, I guess we're ready. Back to the mines. Hopefully, we're going to find a whole bunch of zinc. And if we can find ourselves one of those azurine kind of nugget type bits, it's like a great big ball of azurine, basically. If we can find some of that, then we're going to have zinc for days. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Let's just chuck this down here, give it some fuel, and away it goes. Find me zinc, please. Well, sadly, I didn't find any pockets of azurine, but I do have at least a couple of stacks of zinc, so hopefully that's going to be enough for, well, at least this shipping container. We're probably going to need more later, though, aren't we? Let's be honest, we always need more zinc. There's just never enough. And for this container, I think we're going to use granite, which, of course, we will turn into granite pillars, but I think this will look nice. We've already got sort of white things up here. We've got a red one, so a nice sort of granite container probably in that sort of area there. That should look quite nice. And I think we're going to put this one about here. And we're going to build this one up in exactly the same way. It's going to be the same size and dimensions as the ones we've already done. And you don't need to see me do that again, so I'll just bring you back in once we've got a container here. Well, I've got the basic container up. It still needs a lot of detail and all the outside needs sorting out. But first, I do want to sort out a farm on the inside. And I think we're going to have wheat planted all along this bit here. And then we're going to have some kind of harvester system set up somehow. But I have actually routed the power through already. I've just connected it up underneath this one, so it all comes up through here. So that is ready to go, but I do need to make a few bits and bobs to actually make the farm work. We're going to need a few harvesters. We're probably going to need a gantry shaft, a sequenced gear shift, and a few other bits and bobs. So let's go make what we need, and then hopefully when I come back, we can make this little farm. So to make harvesters, we need iron sheets. Well, conveniently, we have some of them from earlier, don't we? I might actually just be able to make those straight off the bat. Wonderful. Take a few girders for some structure. Going to need a gantry carriage. So if I get myself a slab there, we should have everything we need for one of them. Brilliant. And now we just need some gantry shaft. And yeah, we really do need to sort out our redstone supply. But at least we've got enough for now. Now, the sequence gear shift, a little bit more complicated, but I think we've got the things we need for that. So brass casings. We'll make some extra cogs. We definitely need loads of those anyway. We're going to need a few gearboxes after all. Let's make up a few of them. And we need an electron tube for the gantry timer. And, well, that's easy enough. We can just grab one from our lovely little farmy type thing up here. Auto maker? I don't know what you'd call that. It's not really a farm, is it? It's not like it auto-generates them. It just takes a lot of the manual process out. But we've got some in there. That's good. We'll have a sequenced gear shift. Probably going to need to make a few more bits and bobs. But for now, let's see what we can do. Now, I want to raise this up, I think. I think I want to have the wheat growing up at this level here. which means I am going to need to get myself more dirt, but for now, that's fine. We'll just put in a few temporary blocks here to get the harvesters in place. Stick a sequence gear shift in there. Line up all the gantry shafts. That's going to go all the way to the end. Going to use a gantry carriage here, and then we're just going to stick in a few girders along here. And other than the timing system for the gantry carriage, that should do the trick nicely. So to get the gantry system firing, I think what we're probably going to use is some redstone contacts. I just need some of those. Thankfully, they're quite easy to make, so we'll definitely take those. We're also going to need a pulse repeater and a pulse extender. So what's that? Is that brass sheet? Do we have any of those? No, we do not. Quickly get some brass. Need some redstone torches. And that's it for the pulse repeater. Pulse extender. Okay, I think this is everything I need. I don't know, it might not be, but we'll find out in just a moment, I guess. Oh, super glue. I need super glue. Right, so let's quickly glue this together. That to that, just to make sure. Now to do the redstone contacts. So I think our best bet is going to be to do them like that, and we'll glue this one to the gantry carriage. And this one here is what's going to power this. So the way a sequence gear shift works is you basically tell it to move a certain distance, and, well, basically you can tell it to do certain things, turn certain ways for a certain amount of time, and so on. And we're going to use this to push the gantry shaft. How wide is this container? Like 18 blocks, I think, give or take. That should send it all the way to the end. And then if we once again turn it by 18 blocks in the opposite direction and then end, hopefully when that gets a redstone signal, it should wind this all the way that way and then all the way back. In fact, we'll quickly test that with this button. Oh, geez, that's incredibly slow. Wow. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to need to speed it up as well. We're also going to need to raise this redstone contact because it can't actually go through blocks. So let's do this here instead. In fact, that needs to go back another block. The redstone contacts should be there. So we'll need to do another test of this once it finishes its sequence, which at this shaft speed is going to take forever. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to make myself a speed controller. We're definitely going to need one here. Don't exactly have a lot of space up there, so I think I'm actually going to use the speed controller down here. If we come all the way back to this junction underground, and then we remove that, stick a speed controller in there with that on top. Don't want this thing to be massively fast, so maybe like 48. Actually, let's go 32. That should do the trick nicely. Let's get all this back in. Now, let's try that again. Well, the speed's definitely better. Does it make it all the way to the end before it turns around is the question. Well, I'd say that was pretty much perfect. Then that should get to the end here and then trigger that, which it did. Now we just need to do something with that signal. What we're going to do is extend that signal by 10 ticks just to give it a bit of wiggle room. I'm going to use redstone dust there, and then we're going to use a pulse repeater here. And we'll give that a 10-tick delay as well, just to make sure it's definitely got time to settle. So hopefully that should just go backwards and forwards now. Let's see what happens when it gets to the end here. Give it a bit of light for now. So will that re-trigger? Okay, we definitely need more of a delay down here. If we give this maybe a 5-second delay. Now, hopefully this time it should come back, sit for 5 seconds, and then go off again. I think I was firing it too quickly, basically. So this was actually getting a redstone signal before it turned off, and therefore it wasn't refiring. So now... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've got these two the wrong way around. I need to have my repeater down here. A 5-second delay, and then we'll put the pulse extender in. We'll give that 10 seconds. Right, okay. Third time's the charm. Hopefully it'll work this time. Hey, look, I clearly know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, and our survey says... Is it going to wait 5 seconds? It looks like it. Excellent. If I just stick a lever on there, that should turn it off, because when it's constantly powered, it can't obviously do its routine. So that should stop it from wiggling around when it gets back, hopefully. So what we need now is a couple of portable storage interfaces. So we need chutes, and we need 2 of these. We put one of them on top of the device there, and another one here. That one glued in, and we'll put a chute under there, and we just need some storage. I'm thinking just a lovely little 1x2 drawer there should do the trick nicely. And we're also going to need some storage on the contraption itself. So let's just replace that girder with a barrel. If I was to say chuck a little bit of redstone in there, let's quickly trigger the machine. That should offload the redstone into there, and then carry on. Okay, perfect. So the whole collection delivery system thing here should work absolutely fine. Just need to build up the rest of the farm now. So yeah, we need dirt, we need wheat, and we need to make it look nice. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to use this Neptunian hose. So this is actually something that we've fished up, but the tilled farmland will stay moist. So in theory, I shouldn't have to actually add any water to this, which is good because it means we've got just a little bit more growing space. In fact, we can already see that that is moist tilled ground. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to need a little bit more wheat seed to completely fill the field, but it's a good start. Right, well, that's looking a little bit better. We've got some stacks of wheat out the front here, a few boxes and things. I've made the container look a little bit nicer, and most importantly, we've actually got light in here now, so the wheat should start growing a little bit better. But of course, this is just a passive wheat farm. It's going to gradually build up wheat over time, but it's not going to be particularly quick. And of course, it's also only going to run when I've got the area loaded, because we're trying to avoid chunk loaders as much as possible. So yes, it will produce wheat, just not in mass amounts. And with that in mind, what I want to do is make another small machine, probably somewhere... Oh geez, maybe I should have left space for it. Well, we'll figure that out later. But basically, I do want to have another machine in there that will allow us to generate wheat nice and quickly. But that needs to be powered by bone meal, and that's something we don't really have at the moment. I think we've got about 2 bones and no way of getting more. And I haven't actually found any spawners yet. We've done a fair amount of cave exploration, but I found absolutely no mob spawners or anything like that. Besides the blaze one, we have, of course, already stolen and put in the other village. So instead of doing a spawner-based farm, which is something we'll probably do later on in the theme park as part of a ride, I think what we're actually going to do is go away from this island, go find somewhere, probably just over the ocean. We've got plenty of ocean around us, haven't we? Yeah, look at this, we've got loads. And we're going to make a general mob farm, and that means it's going to spawn in spiders and creepers and zombies and skeletons. I think that's everything you get from one of those. But that means we can get gunpowder, bones, string, and rotten flesh, which may have a use. Does that have any uses? I mean, it can be used for food. Dog food. Oh, not good. So yeah, rotten flesh doesn't really have a use, so we'll probably just dispose of that. But we are going to make a great big mob farm out there somewhere in the sky. It's probably not going to look pretty, but it should do the job. And in order to make that happen, the first thing I'm going to need is a whole lot of blocks. So I'm going to empty off my backpack, make sure that everything is, well, make sure we've got lots and lots of space, basically. This is looking a little bit rammed. And then we'll go build ourselves a lovely mob farm. Well, I've got an inventory full of cobble and I've got a lily pad, so we can actually build on the ocean. What I want to do now is just get really far away from my island so that we can't see it. I don't want it to be visible from the theme park. This is not going to be a pretty build, but hopefully it'll be effective. And it has also just occurred to me, I'm probably going to need a little bit of water and some torches, so I'm going to grab those before we actually go find somewhere. Right, let's try that again. And now we've got rain as well. Marvellous. Okay, this will probably do. We're out here in the middle of the ocean. We're miles away from our island. Let's chuck down the lily pad, pick a block on top, grab some water, and build a massive tower. And then we're going to build our mob farm up here somewhere in the sky. Right, I think around here would do for the bottom layer. That'll give us plenty of room underneath to organise a killing chamber of some kind. So I haven't planned this out at all. We're just going to be winging it. And what I'm thinking is we'll have each platform look something like this. And then what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to use windmills. So we'll have a windmill bearing in the middle that's just got lots of sort of sweeping beams attached to it like this. We just quickly build one of those up. And the idea is that that's going to spin round and it's going to push all the mobs either off the edges or off this little gap in the middle. And potentially some might fall down here as well. It kind of depends how they get pushed around when they're being spanned. But essentially this whole area here is where they're going to be able to get pushed around. And that means we're going to need a nice big catchment chamber a little bit down below. Maybe just somewhere here. It only needs to be a few blocks below. Although actually thinking about it, don't we have... I mean, what are they called? Like suction fans or something like that? How would I find them? Are they part of the deco mod, maybe? Can't think of what they're called, but I know what I'm looking for. Give me a moment. Aha, I think this is it, a nozzle. Maybe we can, in fact, use those, and then we won't need this big sort of tray thing here. I think I'm going to need to do some experiments. Let's quickly head home, make ourselves a nozzle and an encased fan, and just kind of see how it works. So to make one of these nozzles, we need that. Then I need myself an encased fan. So let's make a propeller and, oh, grab ourselves a shaft. And let's quickly go run a test. I need some power. Tell you what, I think grabbing it from here is probably going to be our easiest thing to do for now. And let's just quickly still that. Put our encased fan in, which is sucking. Okay, and if we put a nozzle on there... Oh, look at that. Hey, so it's actually pulling us towards it. I go... How close is it? Oh, it doesn't really have much range. Does it get more range with more speed, though? I think we might have to quickly jump into a creative world and do a couple of tests here. Let's just dig a hole, and we'll pretend that this is the center of our platforms. Stick a creative motor in there, and we're going to whack that up to full speed. Stick a shaft... Cased fan, which is blowing, so let's change the direction. Now it's sucking, and let's see how far away that is actually sucking from. It seems to be quite far. Now, if we were to spawn in a zombie here... Okay, that is outside its range. That's outside its range. Oh, okay, so that's inside the range. That's inside the range. Just you. So it seems as if the area effect of this is a square, so if I put the zombie here... Yep, they still get pulled in. In fact, if we put them all along here, it's gonna make a whole lot of noise, but look at that, they all get pulled where we want them to go. Question is, does that work for spiders as well? Yes, though they're not falling down. So if I put some trapdoors in here so there isn't a ledge for the spider to stand on, is that gonna help? No, because now that's actually blocking the airflow. So what I've concluded is these things work great with skeletons and creepers and zombies, but they're not going to work with spiders at all because they just kind of, well, spiders climb. As always, spiders are the problem. So with that in mind, let's quickly try our other method and make sure that's going to work before we build it in the world because, well, I don't want to waste loads of time, let's be honest. That would not be ideal. So let's set the time to night just so that we don't actually burn all of our mobs to death. Let's get that activated. Oh, no. Need to glue this together. Then activate it. This will be the sweeper. And if we had, say, for example, a bunch of zombies around, we have some skeletons, we'll get some spiders as well. How are they going to deal with that thing? Right, so I've made some adjustments. And if the platform was that shape, then we can push them off the sides. We can push them down the hole. And then they should all die. That's the idea, at least. It looks like it should work, but maybe we need an additional blade here just so we can clear the platforms quicker. So if we had something like that going round, that should just sweep all of the mobs off the platform as it goes. We'll have these holes for them to get put into. Yep, that looks like it'll work. And the good thing is it doesn't require that much power. It's basically just a windmill bearing with a big column of wool on the top. And the taller we make the platform, the faster it will get. And we can just build up the platforms like this and just have basically 2 high layers, and that should work a treat. We then just need to obviously find a way to kill them all, but I'm not too concerned about that. That'll be the fun part. So back here in the main world, I guess we can just carry on doing what we were actually doing already for now. Placing lots of cobble mainly. And back over here at the platform, I think this is what we're going to go with. So we're going to have 2 halves. We're going to have the thing spinning in the middle, and then we're going to have a catchment tray down the bottom here. But things are potentially also going to fall off the side, and that means we also need to extend the catchment tray out. Similar to a standard mob farm, I guess, if you look at Nembon's design, that's one of the most popular ones. So we're going to do a platform pretty much just like that for catching things. But I've got a whole lot of blocks to place, so I'll bring you back in when we're ready to start actually putting the create mechanism in, which is going to power this thing. But I've got the first 3 platforms in, and I've also got the water catchment chamber down the bottom here, which should hopefully push all the mobs down into the middle. Then once they get here, they'll get pushed over the edge, and of course, this is where they're going to... Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't leave my water stream there. I can't get back up.
You are made of stupid.
Okay, I'm going to have to build another column for that, but I do need to go get some create bits and bobs anyway, so let's go do that first, which is, yep, roughly this direction. And I'm going to get myself a windmill bearing, a bunch of wool, and something to build the wool that's going to spin all the mobs around and send them over the edge. Question is, do I actually have enough wool over there? I don't know if I do. I might have to go shear some sheep from somewhere. Got my windmill bearing. I've got hopefully what's going to be enough wool. We just need to get ourselves all the way up there now. Now, hopefully this is going to work, but we did do a little bit of testing, so I'm a little bit more confident than I would have been, I guess. So it would help if I put the windmill the right way around. Oh, I've forgotten my super glue. Well, that's not ideal. We can at least get the blades in, I guess, and then, yeah, then we're going to have to go get some super glue before we can turn it on and test it. Oh, no. Fell down again, and I still haven't put my bucket of water in. Oh, I'm going to have so much cleaning up to do. I could really do with some wings. Actually, while I'm down here, might as well go get the glue. Wings would be handy for this as well. Right, the platforms are in. The windmill should, hopefully, spin. I right-click that. Unable to assemble. Does not include enough sail-like blocks. Oh, okay, yep. I need to actually stick all of this bit together. We're almost ready to go. Give me a moment. All right, now I should be able to turn it on. Nope, it still says it's only got 6 blocks. That is not the truth. Right, let's try that. How's this only got 6? It's clearly more than 6 there. That bit not attached to that bit somehow? What? I'm so confused. There's definitely more than 6 there. I've stuck them all together as one big column now, and if that doesn't work, then I have no idea what's going on. Oh, yep, there we go. We're off. Let's remove those blocks. Let's get out the way. And at this stage, yes, I do realise it probably would have been easier just to build an Embon's farm, but where's the fun in that? Let's, yeah, try and do something a bit different, I guess. Now, when this is all complete, we will, of course, put an AFK spot at the top there, but for now, what I want to do is make sure I've got a way back up this time, and I'm going to get these columns removed, and hopefully when it gets dark, we can see some stuff start spawning and getting pushed down the hole, and yes, they're just going to float around in the ocean for now, so maybe we've got enough time before dark to actually put down a flat platform, so they just die from fall damage. Mainly, I just don't want all the mobs building up while we're testing, and we will, of course, put a proper killing contraption in there later on. But for now, let's just see if it's actually going to spawn, and if they're going to get pushed off and down the hole. Right, well, the sun's going down. Let's jump into free cam and see if anything's going to spawn. Obviously, being down here, things are going to be spawning in the caves below as well, which is not going to be particularly helpful, so the spawn rates aren't going to be great up here, but hopefully at least something will spawn. Yep, there we go. We've got stuff spawning in, and it should now get pushed off and into the hole down the bottom. Yep, there they go. They're in the water, and then they're getting pushed, and... okay, my platform's a little bit wonky, but at least they are hitting it and dying. Cool, so we know it's going to work. So with that knowledge, I can safely sleep, and then head back up there and build a whole load more platforms, and then a roof, so it's always dark. Well, I've been placing a whole lot of blocks, and I think the farm is almost ready to go. I quickly jump into free cam here. We can see we've got a great big roof on the thing. We've got 9 platforms in there in total, and as you can see, everything is getting washed down. It's going down here, and currently, it's despawning because we're too far away, so things aren't hitting the platform here, which is ideal, because we do want to actually have a raised kill chamber around here somewhere, and then space underneath for all the items to get stored. But it's working a treat. We're getting lots of stuff falling through, which is very good. We like this. We like this a lot. But what we need to do now is to raise that platform where they're falling and dying to full damage, maybe add some campfires on there just in case we end up with a chicken jockey or something, because they will float down and not die to full damage, so we're still going to need to kill them as well. And then have some kind of collection system for all of the resources. But yes, this platform needs to be about 20 blocks higher, give or take. So let's do that now. And what I do actually want to do is find the exact center of this thing as well, which I think is about here. If we look down, go into free cam, and then just go straight up. Are we in the middle? I'd say we are. So we're going to build a nice new chamber here. If we expand this floor out here like that, it's incredibly dark down here, so for now, what I'm going to do is go to video settings. We're going to turn up our brightness just so I and you can see what I'm actually doing down here. Just going to stick a temporary water bucket on the side here, just so we can get back up here in a moment, because I need to go get myself some campfires so we can actually make sure that everything that lands on that platform doesn't come back to life. Or more accurately, doesn't survive in the first place. I guess being zombies and skeletons, they've kind of already come back to life, right? So I'm back with some campfires. I've got an idea of how we're going to collect all the loot as well. What I want to do, though, is just make sure that anything that does survive and land on the campfires can't escape them. So we're going to put a... ow! That was not very nice, sir. Unbelievable. I haven't put a way in to get up there yet. That was just mean. More blocking up then, I guess. But as I was saying, I do have an idea for a collection system, which I think is going to work quite nicely. But let's just get all this in first. Get another layer so things can't escape. And then fill the bottom here with campfires. I know soul campfires burn hotter and will kill stuff a bit quicker, but I completely forgot about that until just now. So, well, normal campfires it is. It's fine. It'll do the job. They're only there for backup anyway. So, collection. What we're going to do is we're going to have a backpack here, which has got a magnet on it. So it should collect up all of the loot, and then I'm going to stick a chute on the bottom so it spits it on the floor that apparently I need to put some torches on. Oh, of course, I've still got my brightness turned up. Right, so collection system. What I've got is somewhere around here. I've got a bunch of drawers. I've got a bunch of upgrades. Let's get these in. I don't know how many drawers we're going to need. I'm not entirely sure how many different things are going to come out of this. But if we stick a drawer controller slave on the top there and then stick a funnel there, or smart chute, I should say, on top of that. Gonna give an upgrade to all of these, which is an emerald upgrade, which means these will store 32 times the amount of stuff, which I think means they'll store about 60,000 or so. So they shouldn't ever fill up. And I've just realized that system there isn't gonna work because currently everything's being dropped out of the bag and then going straight back into it. So I need myself some more of those smart chutes. Or alternatively, just more chutes, because that's all I can afford. Okay, fine. Fine, we won't do smart chutes. These ones should be able to keep up anyway, so that's fine. We'll just do a nice big tunnel all the way to the top here. And then we'll quantify all of those so we can see exactly what we're getting. And I think, hopefully, that should actually do everything we need it to do. I just need to get myself back up to the top now and actually get the farm running properly again. But it's very, very janky. I mean, even the backpack's not in the right place. But as I say, it should be able to collect everything that drops on there. It's got an upgraded magnet thing on it, which means it reaches 5 blocks and it's somewhere near the middle. And that thing's only a 5x5 platform. So yeah, we shouldn't have any issues with that. Just occurred to me, I've still not put torches on this bit down here. So let's quickly do that and put our brightness back to how it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm at the top here. Let's jump into free cam and see what's going on. But I'm just going to go AFK for about 20 minutes or so. Go get myself some food, and when I come back, hopefully we'll have lots of stuff in these boxes. Well, I've just come back after about 20 minutes and found myself dead. Apparently I starved to death, which I didn't think was possible if he wasn't moving, so yeah. I guess we're going to have to go back and collect our body. We're up there in the air somewhere, and it'll be nice to see how much we actually collected as well, I guess. I refuse to make another boat, however, so we're going to swim all the way over there. Wonderful. Really do with the dolphin. Oh, and some air. Okay, I've made it back, and okay, well, we've got 700 bones, 600 string, 600 of each of those. Lots of arrows that we don't really want, let's be honest. I need to add some more drawers here. Is there anything else waiting to come through? There is. No, we just need a couple more drawers, I think, for sticks and for glowstone dust. I wonder how long we were actually AFK for before I starved to death. Anyway, let's go get our stuff, and, well, I do actually want more bones. That. So I'm gonna go AFK again, I guess, but this time keep an eye on my food maybe. That really wasn't ideal. Ooh, creepy music. Ah! Ah! No, don't die again, come on. Get to the top before any more skellies come out and try to kill me. Go. Alright, we made it with a few hearts to spare. And I did have a mild panic there when there was nothing on my body, but it's because it was all in my backpack. Good stuff. Right, let's do a little bit more AFK, shall we? So I went AFK for about an hour or so. I didn't starve. You'll notice I've still got 25 food. So, yeah, I don't really know why I starved to death the first time round. I wasn't moving or doing anything. It's just weird. But most importantly, look at this. We've got so many bones. And, yeah, we're going to be using all of... Well, actually, no. We're going to be using a lot of these. And then we're going to have lots of backup. But this will provide all the bone meal we're going to need moving forward. And the good thing is we've also got lots of gunpowder, which is going to come in handy. And a few other little bits and bobs that, well, may or may not come in handy. The string might be useful, who knows. But now we should have exactly what we need to go make a tiny wheat farm. Alright, so to make this farm, we're going to need a bunch of dispensers, and we're just going to use these old bows that we fished up. For this tiny farm, we are going to need a harvester, but something else I'm going to need is some more andesite alloy so I can actually make that harvester. Let's just chuck that in there, make ourselves another harvester, and find somewhere to put this thing. Main issue being we just don't have a lot of space. So with that in mind, I think what I'm actually going to do is convert the backside of this maybe because, well, I mean, this is going to be gradually ticking wheat in. I mean, we've only got 3 wheat so far. Wow, this is even slower than I thought. But then I suppose we've not been over here having it loaded. But regardless of that fact, what I'm going to do is get rid of the gantry shaft along this bit here. Just clear a little bit of space in this back corner here. All right, that should do it. So if we're going to have, for example, this being where the wheat grows, what we're going to need is dispensers here, here, and here. Maybe one on top as well, just to make sure. And we're going to need to get some redstone around the back here, which I don't think I've got with me, have I? Maybe. I've got a little bit. So we'll just get those covered with redstone, so they should all activate every time we give that a pulse. And to do that, we're going to keep things fairly simple. I think we're just going to use observers. So if we point an observer up there and stick one on top, that looks like it's firing all of them. That should do the trick nicely. So let's just stop that for now, because that's very annoying. And what I'm going to do is stick a piston. Nope, not that way around. But we'll stick a piston there. Get that chucked back in top. Stick a lever there. That should turn this thing on and off. In fact, if I put that back, yeah, look at that. I have no idea why it's going twice as fast now, but I'll take it. And I think instead of using a harvester, we're going to keep things a little bit simpler and basically just block off the light to the wheat. Because when that happens, it should break. Means I'm going to need another sticky piston, but I need a slime for that, and I don't think we've got any left. Not to worry, let's go find ourselves a jellyfish. There's the jellyfish. Got to be some around here somewhere. Aha, there's one. Yoink, and we'll cook that up to get our slime ball. Now we can make a sticky piston, and in fact, I reckon the best place to put this is probably going to be there. Actually, no, we are going to stick that down here. Now I just need to feed a bit of redstone to it, and we should be able to do that under the ground here. There's probably a much tidier and better way of doing this as well, but, well, it's fine as long as it works, eh? We'll hide all that behind a wall anyway. Now if we turn that on... Oh, it's noisy. Can now do is chuck a bucket of water in there just so when we till this, it will stay. Oh, actually, no, we don't need to do that. We've got our fancy hoe, don't we? Oh, it is back on the boat. So let's grab that. That's that sorted. Let's get ourselves a whole load of bone meal. Now, although it's going to be loud, if we turn that on and stand here planting seeds... Not breaking. Why are you not breaking? Okay, let me try something out here. I think it's because of this sort of 1 pixel line we've got here, so light's still getting in. I reckon if I did that, yeah, there you go, it breaks. What that tells me is we just need to slightly adjust this setup. So if we were to put this piston here and that there, extend the redstone up. All right, so now it should work. Yep, look at that, we're getting loads of wheat. So if I just turn the magnet on my backpack and I tell it not to pick up seeds, should just collect lots of wheat over here. If I stand right here, then the seeds should go directly back into my inventory, and we should be able to run this indefinitely as long as we're standing here. Oh, let's put that back. As long as I just stand here and hold right click, I'm planting seeds. The seeds are going into my inventory, so we're not going to run out of those. And if I look in my backpack, we've already got 29 wheat. Excellent. Question is there anything I can do to make this look a little bit less horrible? There we go, that looks a little bit nicer, and the thing works a treat. Oh gee, it's just so loud. And that was a whole lot of effort, but we do now have infinite wheat. Wonderful. We have our small wheat farm, we have our giant mob farm. I'm pretty sure at the start I also said I was going to build a medium-sized construction vehicle. And I think we're going to build that right about here. Well, it's come out a little bit bigger than I was expecting it to, but I do actually quite like it. I think it works well. We've got lots of sort of create bits and components just kind of stuck onto it. We've got these lovely gears at the bottom for the wheels, which I think works quite well, and the arm does actually move, but it's not attached to this, so if I move the arm, it leaves this behind. It's just the way it had to be. But I'm pretty pleased with that, and I think it definitely helps tie this area together a little bit more, and if we jump into free cam and have a look from further away, I'll be honest, it looks even better. And it's quite nice to finally get some machinery down here. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. It was a bit of a longer episode than usual. I hope you've enjoyed it. And next episode, we can actually crack on with Main Street, which I'm very much looking forward to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.